मेरा बोले चुड़िया कौन देखेगा?
करण जौहर।
करण जौहर.
मेरे सनम की पहली निशानी.
Hey everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. मेरा नाम जोश है
मेरा नाम मिंगल है
और हम ये जवानी है दीवानी देख रहे हैं. ये पार्ट 3 है, तो अगर पार्ट 1 या पार्ट 2 मिस हो गया फिर इस वीडियो के नीचे उसके लिंक मिल सकते हैं और देखकर वापस आइए पार्ट 3 के लिए. और अगर अब तक नहीं किया सब्सक्राइब करो, शेयर करो और लाइक बटन पर थप्पड़ मारो.
ये ना थोड़ा।
मैं नहीं पीती.
अरे एक ही इंसान से एक ही झूठ कितनी बार बोलेगी? ये ले।
Just what I needed.
She is already toasted.
क्या
Ew.
सही faulty piece है ना?
Oh, exactly.
सब ठीक?
Oh, hi. Yeah. I just hope कि अदिति को मेरा डांस पसंद आए. Thanks यार हमारी शादी पे आने में. You know it really means a lot to me, to अदिति, हमारी फैमिली
ये
के
ले.
लिए. नहीं I just.
ले इससे सब ठीक हो जाता है. अबे
Oh, chugging.
What kind of dance is this?
Well, he's clearly drunk, you know, like. It's an interesting decision that be dancing, doing a number with a.
With another woman?
Yeah.
तुमने कहा इनका डांस बिल्कुल बकवास था.
हाँ यार था.
ये बकवास नहीं, ये माइंड ब्लोइंग है.
जीनियस.
अब मेरा बोले चुड़िया कौन देखेगा?
करण जौहर.
Karan Jauhar.
मेरे सनम की पहली निशानी.
I really wanted to be the best, you know.
तुझे धमाकेदार डांस करना है ना? तू जानती नहीं मैं बहुत बड़ा टैलेंटेड इंसान हूँ. तू बस घाघरा टाइट कर ले, कहीं गिर विर ना जाए.
What is he planning? They got those lighting effects and everything.
Woo!
He did say hold on to your skirt,
Skirt,
right? Or
yeah,
don't drop your
yeah.
skirt. Yeah.
है ना?
Oh, that's
अबे
right. He's
कितना सोई
leaving.
यार. हमारे पास आज का ही दिन है उदयपुर देखते हैं. चल जल्दी कर. I love my life नैना. मैं कभी तुम लोगों की तरह जी ही नहीं सकता. चल.
तुम लोगों की तरह मतलब?
एक ही शहर के, एक ही घर के, एक ही कमरे में तू अपनी पूरी लाइफ निकाल देगी. सोच के डर नहीं लगता?
बिल्कुल नहीं. और मुझे कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तुम्हारी तरह जीने में. Like a bloody hippie.
Like a bloody hippie.
तू ये सब इसलिए कह रही है क्योंकि तूने अभी तक दुनिया नहीं देखी है बेबी. तुझे क्या
Baby?
देशों में रहने का नशा क्या होता है?
और तुम्हें क्या पता कि अपनों के साथ रहना क्या होता है?
Right. The thing
They
is,
both don't know about the other's life, and there's.
किसी दिन तुझे सैन फ्रांसिस्को में ना मैं अपना फेवरेट मटन बर्गर खिलाऊंगा.
Oh, we have.
किसी दिन मैं तुम्हें अपने हाथ की मटन बिरयानी खिलाऊंगी. तुम बर्गर भूल जाओगे.
तू एक दिन 2 बच्चे की माँ बन जाएगी, मोटी सी, और मैं तब भी हॉट और फिट लगूंगा.
Oh.
और जब हम मेरे बड़े से ड्राइंग रूम में बैठ के हैरी पॉटर पार्ट 20 देख रहे होंगे ना, तुम किसी अफ्रीकन गांव में बैठ के अपने खुद के जूते सी रहे होंगे.
Stitching your own shoes in Africa.
तू राइट नहीं है नैना, बस मुझसे बहुत अलग है.
जानती हूँ.
and see, the thing is, she's so okay with it.
Uh-huh.
And that's what's so great about this, is that she knows what she wants.
चल एक आध का नाम बनी रख लेना.
प्लीज.
अच्छा और ये बच्चे सब एक ही हस्बैंड से या मैं कुछ मदद करूं?
Oh, gee.
सोच तो सही, क्या हैंडसम बच्चे होंगे हमारे. मेरे गुड लुक्स और मेरी अकल.
My brain.
क्या? चल अब जल्दी, नहीं तो लाइट और साउंड शो मिस हो जाएगा.
मैं थक गई हूँ बनी. और इतना अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ.
हाँ लेकिन जब सब देख लेंगे ना तो और भी ज्यादा अच्छा लगेगा.
तुम सब कुछ एक दिन में नहीं कर सकते. हाँ
कर सकता हूँ. ये देख, सिर्फ इतना बाकी.
Wow. Whoa.
अब नहीं है, बैठ जाओ चुपचाप.
He's the one to do all the research.
Well,
Make the most out of it.
he's probably like,
जितना भी ट्राई करो बनी, लाइफ में कुछ ना कुछ तो छूटेगा ही.
yep,
तू जहाँ है
enjoy
वहीं
the
का मजा
moments.
लेके.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's one of these people that goes on a trip somewhere and he's got it all itineraried starting at 6 a.m. until midnight. And
Well, man knows what he wants and he goes out and gets it.
yeah, and there's something to that, but at the same time, you also have to be flexible and enjoy things that change along the way. And
3 साल पहले मैं ट्रैक अमेरिका नाम की एक कंपनी में काम कर रहा था. 24 कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स को लेके ट्रैक पे गया था मैं. 8 दिन बाद पहाड़ों से लौटा. तब जाके मोबाइल फ़ोन फिर से चलने लगा. 155 वॉइस मैसेजेस आए थे. मेरी फैमिली अभी अदिति,
His dad passed.
वो मंडे को गुजरे. मुझे सैटरडे को पता चला. उनका क्रियाक्रम सब कुछ हो चुका था. 1 महीने से बात नहीं हुई थी हमारी. 3 साल से मैं मिला नहीं था उन्हें.
oh wow,
कहते रहते थे कि मिलने आ जा. मुझे उनकी बात सुन लेनी चाहिए थी.
That must be such a guilty feeling, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not his fault. Like, if that's his work,
she's not blaming him and she's not making him feel guilty or anything.
sometimes you just need to be there for a person, not
Yeah.
have to say anything.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
10,000 शो.
मत पढ़ तो इसमें.
तू खेल चुपचाप.
Thank you everyone. Hard luck bro. See you later.
क्या? अबे मेरी गलती है.
तुझे क्या लगा लास वेगस है ये? डबल जैकपॉट लगने वाला है. मैं खेल रहा था ना अपना.
ठीक है ना यार, हो गया.
तू सुनता क्यों नहीं है कभी? तेरी मेहनत के पैसे हैं. वेस्ट मत कर.
डबल जैकपॉट, लास वेगस, कैसीनो वाला एपिसोड. स्लॉट मशीन में कुछ $20 डाले.
और 20,000 जीती.
he does watch.
तूने मेरा शो देखा है अभी?
क्या 40 एपिसोड किए तुम लोगों ने अब तक? सारे देखे.
Mm-hmm.
तेरे बार के बारे में मुझे पता चला. पूरा टाइम सबका आता है. मेरे पास कुछ पैसे हैं, तू ले ले भाई, और अपना बार बचा ले.
बहुत बड़ा अमाउंट है भाई.
कितना?
25 लाख.
डन.
You gotta stop drinking so much, my man.
अपने डॉलर से मुझे खरीद रहा है. इतनी सस्ती नहीं है मेरी दोस्ती. मुझे तेरे पैसे नहीं चाहिए बनी, समझा?
तो फिर क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं तेरे लिए अभी?
दारू पी मेरे साथ.
His problems run a lot deeper.
What? What? What was going on there?
I think it's showing that she has these attachments to Avi still, but she doesn't think he'll be that kind of guy for her.
देखा मैंने. तू जरा अभी से बात क्या करने लगी? जलन हो गई उसे? तू श्योर है ना इसके बारे में?
बनी मैं वहाँ अभी से बात करने नहीं, उसे थप्पड़ लगाने गई थी. 2 दिन में 2 लाख रुपए का बिल है उसका. 1 लाख दारू और 1 लाख पोकर, जो तरन अभी चुका के आया है. वो जल नहीं रहा था, मुझे अभी के इंसल्ट करने से रोक रहा था.
तू अब अभी से प्यार नहीं करती?
तुझे पता था?
सबको पता था, सिवाय उस डफर अभी के.
Yeah, exactly.
We all knew
We
it from
all
the
knew.
start.
Duh.
बट यू नो उस रिलेशनशिप में अभी था ही नहीं, सिर्फ मैं थी
Mm-hmm.
अकेली.
Right?
Yep.
That was obvious.
कैसे समझाऊं? यू नो इट्स लाइक तरन के पहले मैं ठीक ही थी, सब ठीक था, लेकिन उससे मिलके रियलाइज हुआ कि मैं खुश भी हो सकती हूँ. सिंपल है. कुछ लोगों के साथ सिर्फ वक्त बिताने से सब कुछ सही हो जाता है.
Those words are hitting. They're hitting.
We're doing lanterns.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Shout at me. I didn't shout. I didn't shout. I just
bitch बोला.
I didn't say.
What?
You show
नाम मस्तानी, मधोश किया जाए।
हाय।
Who is this?
आप कुछ ढूंढ रहे?
कौन है?
Dude from the phone.
ये विक्रम है, शादी शूट
Remember
करने
the
आया है।
secret?
और नैना से मिलने। आप है कौन?
तू जा।
बनी?
Wow, that was super rude.
ये ना मेरी बेस्ट फ्रेंड की शादी है, तेरी यहाँ कोई जरूरत नहीं।
शायद आपने ज्यादा पी लिया। मुझे यहाँ नैना ने बुलाया।
मैं नैना का बॉयफ्रेंड हूँ।
What?
Guys, stop it! Stop it, Bunny, stop it! Come on यार। विक्रम, मुझे 5 मिनट दो, मैं आती हूँ। Okay. Thank you.
Oh, that got so intense.
तुम मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड नहीं हो।
तो वो है क्या?
तुम्हें हो क्या गया है बनी? जाओ जाके उसे सॉरी बोलो।
मुंह ना तोड़ दूं साले का।
तुम पागल हो गए हो बनी।
मुझे लगा कि तुम दारू सिर्फ मेरे साथ पीती हो।
तुम कहना क्या चाहते हो बनी?
मैं बस ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि तुम इस विक्रम को यहाँ से भेज दो।
क्यों?
कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि तुम अपना सारा वक्त मेरे साथ बिताओ।
Life doesn't stop because you're not around, man.
मैं यहाँ विक्रम के साथ इसलिए बैठी थी क्योंकि मैं तुम्हारे साथ और वक्त नहीं बिता सकती। वो दोस्त है मेरा।
तो वो तेरा बॉयफ्रेंड नहीं है?
नहीं बनी, नहीं। तुम समझते क्यों नहीं कि अगर मैं तुम्हारे साथ 2 मिनट और रही तो
क्या नैना?
मुझे तुमसे प्यार हो जाएगा फिर से, और तुम्हें नहीं होगा फिर से।
No, you can't, man. You can't. Unless you're ready to make that commitment. I don't know.
I don't know. Is he gonna follow through? Is he kind of?
He was seeing all the other couples and understanding that he
Yeah.
maybe wants that, and but he did come from either a divorced family or his mom passed and his dad had to remarry, and so the whole marriage thing in his mind, I don't know.
Well, again, he thinks it'll be boring and trapping and something like that.
विक्रम चला गया।
I love you.
सच?
I love you.
Don't shake your head when you say I love you.
ऐसा है कि I love you सिर्फ शुरुआत होती है, फिर क्या होता है बनी?
Right. That's what I want to know.
फिर वो 2 लोग उन 3 शब्दों को संभाल नहीं पाते।
इसके बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे।
बनी मुझे जाने दो प्लीज। तुम गलत नहीं हो, बस मुझसे बहुत अलग हो। छोड़ो मुझे प्लीज।
नहीं छोड़ सकता।
तो फिर मत जाओ पेरिस, क्योंकि मैं नहीं चल सकती ना तुम्हारे साथ। मॉम, डैड, क्लिनिक सब यहाँ है ना?
That's the issue. I don't think either one of them can leave that.
नैना, मैं
समझती हूँ मैं तुम्हें। पता है तुम्हारे सपने क्या है, कि तुम जिंदगी से क्या चाहते हो। बाय।
मत जा नैना, ये यहाँ अच्छा लग रहा है।
इसलिए जाना पड़ेगा।
ना धूप चुने ना छाँव, कैसी तेरी खुद गर्जी।
मिट्टी की सुराही रास्ता देखे है।
I love those like little LED lights on. I actually really like Aditi's story. And I can't believe he's leaving though. I mean, stepmom still home?
Both of them? Or
No, that's, I think his mom.
His mom.
पापा, हमें निकलना चाहिए।
I know.
खुश नहीं हो क्या पापा?
खुश हूँ भाई। मैं थोड़ा सेल्फिश भी हूँ, तुम्हें खोना नहीं चाहता।
तो आप कहना क्या चाहते हो पापा? कि मैं अमेरिका नहीं जाऊँ?
मेरे चाहने से कोई फर्क पड़ता है? तुमने कभी कोई बात मेरी मानी है?
अगर आप चाहते हो कि मैं नहीं जाऊँ, तो पहले कह देते। आप भी कह सकते हो।
But it's his dream. Your parents won't stand in between your dream.
तुम ये कर सकते हो?
हाँ।
तुम्हारा ये कहना ही मेरे लिए बहुत है। जहाँ तुम्हारा जी चाहे जाओ। जो जी चाहे करो, जिस तरह जिंदगी जीनी है जियो।
थक गया हूं मैं, भागते भागते मैंने वक्त की इज्जत नहीं की और पापा चले गए।
बनी, क्या तुम्हें पता है कि तुम्हारे पापा को इस दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा खुशी किसने दी? न मैंने, न तुम्हारी माँ ने, बल्कि सिर्फ तुमने। क्योंकि तुमने कभी अपने ख्वाबों का पीछा नहीं छोड़ा, अपनी जिंदगी अपनी मर्जी से जी। वो जानते थे अपनी मर्जी से जीने की कीमत क्या होती है, और उन्हें गर्व था इस बात का कि तुम में वो कीमत देने की हिम्मत थी।
That is huge for a parent, right?
It's particularly with Indian culture too.
मैं न्यू ईयर्स डे तुम्हारे साथ बादलों में बिताना चाहता हूँ।
एक और साल खत्म हो रहा है और उसके साथ ये बार भी। नए साल और नई शुरुआतों के लिए ऑल द बेस्ट।
हाय।
Oh.
पकड़।
Hey, what? He just like struts in like he owns the place.
पेरिस
कैंसर।
क्यों?
रिस्क नहीं लेना था बाप, तुझे कोई और पटा लेता तो।
ये जॉब तुम्हारी लाइफ का सबसे बड़ा सपना था ना?
था।
Ah.
लेकिन हर चीज का एक सही वक्त होता है। और आज इसका है।
Oh.
शादी करेगी मुझसे?
तुम पागल हो गए, ये नकली है।
लेकिन मेरा प्यार असली है बेबी।
तुम भाग जाओगे?
तो तू वापस ले आना।
मतलब तुम सच में भाग जाओगे?
अरे कहीं नहीं जाऊंगा यार, एक बार ट्राई तो कर ले।
Try to कर ले।
शादी करेगी या नहीं?
क्यों करना चाहते हो मुझसे शादी?
क्योंकि फंसा लिया है तूने मुझे, वार्ड लगा दी तूने मेरी। मैं अभी वही सपने देख रहा हूँ, लेकिन 2 टिकट पे। दुनिया का कोना कोना देखना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन तेरा हाथ पकड़ कर। देख देना, वक्त किसी के लिए नहीं रुकता। बीतता वक्त है, लेकिन खर्च हम होते हैं। अपने माइंड में ऑलरेडी शादी कर चुका हूँ तुझसे, तू भी कर ले मुझसे।
I have.
इतनी लंबी स्पीच दी, ताली तो बजा दे।
यहाँ पे बेवड़े, कहाँ पी के बैठा है? पानी, कुत्ते, कहाँ है तू?
हाय बाबू।
Hey, where are you?
भाई, बहुत लंबी कहानी है। तेरे पीछे वो आइटम कौन है?
अपनी चश्मिश।
बनी,
आदि?
बनी,
अदिति?
अभी रुक, स्पीकर फोन लगा रहा, रुक।
They're having like a speaker four-way come.
बनी, तुम दोनों कहाँ हो?
मेरे घर।
साले पानी, मतलब तू यही है?
ओह माय गॉड, मुझे पता था तुम दोनों का सीन चल रहा था।
अच्छा भाई लोग, सब समझाऊंगा, लेकिन अभी सिर्फ 5 सेकंड बाकी न्यूज़ के लिए। So 5, 4,
3, 2,
1.
Yay! Okay, you go first.
I really like this because there were so many little subtle things that, but I think there was like one overall arcing theme through the whole thing, which is things change in life and it's about how we adapt and deal with it and like adjust and accept these things, because what we wanted when we were in our teens versus what we wanted when we were in our 20s and 30s and stuff, it changes because we change. We grow, we want different things, we think we know what we want, but we have to be open to the idea that we can like and maybe fall in love with different things than we had originally planned. And the whole thing with itineraries and checklists and all that sort of stuff and throwing it to the wind is because when you made that checklist, when you make those sort of things, you're not the same person as you're like going down that list, because as you check things off, you become a different person.
And all the experiences that
Yeah,
happen
they
influence you.
Yeah, and so we see that in a lot of people's stories, right? So we see that with Aditi, and Aditi was actually turns out to be one of my favorites, because for somebody, because I love how she accepted the whole thing, because she's like, oh yeah, you knew that I was in love with him. And she's like, but you know, that is in the past, and then these are the things, and I grow and I move and I do this. And she's like, I realized it was like a one-way street. And her dreams of what she wanted changed. She was
Right,
the biggest
right.
rebel out of all of
Yeah,
them.
she was.
She was like, oh, heck no. Like, I'm not going to be pulled down by anybody. And she was the one on like the most rebel, like coloring
She
her
was a
hair
rebel,
and doing all
yeah.
that. She was. And so she, above anyone else, was the perfect like embodiment of accepting change and adjusting who she wanted. She's settling down with this guy in that whole speech there at the end. He's like saying like why she loves him and fell in love with him, and you know these are the things that she ends up wanting in life. And also Bunny's character, when he was traveling and doing all those things, he's like, this is what I wanted. Why am I not happy? Why is this not as fulfilling as it should be? Is because when he made all those dreams, he was this youngster. He was like, oh, I want to see everything and do everything. And he was always constantly scared of this death. And then once we found out that his parents weren't divorced, it was because his mom passed away. Now it's like, maybe he was thinking that maybe there were so many things that, like, because he experienced death much younger than a lot of people have to deal with death, right? Because she clearly passed away when he was much younger because his dad remarried. And usually the dad would only remarry if he had like smaller children. Like, I mean, I've heard it like with my dadu and all that, just when the kids are older. Like, why would I remarry? My kids are older. But anyway, I'm guessing here that she probably passed when he was younger, and that gets him to think about death a lot more than someone normally would. And so he, like, standing in the graveyard while he was doing his travels and living his dream, he was in the graveyard and he looked around at the death and like almost like chasing from behind him. And he's like, I have all this stuff I want to do. And yet he's also seeing all the different girls and all that sort of stuff. And he's like, there's got to be something more to do, and doing it with somebody, right? And so finding that middle ground, because that's another thing that I really liked, is that one way is not, you know, like neither side is perfect. Like you have to have a little bit of, you know, roots, set some roots, but also set those roots in a pot that you can be portable.
Yeah.
Right? And then move around. So it's not like totally stagnant and you're staying in one place and everything, but you're kind of like being able to be like, look, I'll be here and then I'll go do all these little things. So I really like that, because in the beginning she was the super straight edge, not doing anything, being scared of doing these things, but being open to it. And I think that's the big idea, is being open to new experiences and open to change and open to hurt, because sometimes when you put yourself out there, you might get
you
hurt.
become vulnerable, and
So-
you can get hurt a lot easier.
So I really like this because it was a lot deeper than just boy meets girl, boy tries to get girl, girl runs away, drama and all that sort of stuff.
Comic relief and so forth.
Like this was a lot deeper, and I really appreciated that. I liked how they talked about different things. And what I was saying, the reviews had it right, not reviews, the synopsis is a coming of age story, because this really was. It was about when you're in that transition phase of like being under your parents' roof and then having to become an adult, and how do you adjust to those changes. And we all have different stories about how that happens and how we adjust to it. And I think this was a really great emotional story about like becoming an adult and finding what you want. Now, things that I think were a little cliche is that to show someone nerdy, they wear glasses. And then all of a sudden when she was like, oh, wow, you're so pretty, like to remove the glass, I'm like, man, girls can be pretty with glasses, and like it doesn't make them just like nerds and stuff. You know, it's about your confidence. And when she took her glasses, now for some people, maybe taking glasses off and putting contacts in makes them more confident. Sure,
Well,
maybe.
and some people hide behind their glasses.
Yeah, and maybe that was her thing too. But the thing is that removing your glasses doesn't like mean that you're all of a sudden like pretty, because I think like people that wear glasses can be pretty too. So that was a little cliche. I mean, they do that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like in movies all the time, like whenever they're having a makeover, the biggest part of the makeover is just taking off the glasses.
We're going to give you contacts. Surprise, like no one saw that coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So
particularly when the person has glasses that are like so out of fashion and so forth. It's like, yeah.
So there were a few cliches in here, but I think overall the movie was really good. And they re-released this movie just recently in the theaters. They're doing that a lot now, like re-releasing on like.
Was it
that sort of
released during
stuff.
COVID times?
No, no, this was re-released literally like a couple weeks ago,
Oh,
January 3rd.
But the first time it came out, was it during
Oh,
COVID?
no.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
What year is this?
2025.
No, I know what year this is, but what year was 2013? So it's been a while.
Okay.
So it's been like 22 years. Wait, 22 years? No, 2013. 12 years. Wow, my math is terrible.
Yeah,
12 years. So, I mean, in 12 years, you know, so...
Those
anyway.
actors haven't aged at all.
No, they really haven't. Like, dang, they got good genes. So, I gotta give it a rating. I'm gonna give it, in this category, fun. The music was really good. The acting was really good. I liked the plot, the story, all of that. I like how it ended.
Right.
And I am going to give it a 9.
You're gonna give it a 9?
Yeah. All right. So what'd you think of the whole?
I liked it too. It was good. I think it moved along at a pretty decent pace, and you got to. There was something that was leading into the next thing that definitely would kept you pulled along and so forth. I like that. I do hear what you were saying about him living his life pretty fast and running. I like that he said, "I want to run. I want to
I want to fly,
run, and I want to fall."
Yeah.
Okay. And I think there is a little bit of there's a little bit of an element of, well, what are you running from? Because a lot of times when people are constantly moving from one thing to the next very, very quickly in their lives, I always say, are you trying to find yourself, or are you scared of something about yourself that keeps you thinking that your surroundings and what you're doing is going to help you get that? Okay, you know, I was kind of trying to see if that was going to pan out. I don't think it did so much for him. I think it was more or less that he needed to find that balance for him. So in a sense, it was fine for what he was doing. But oftentimes, when you see these kinds of characteristics of where someone is constantly, you know, moving to the next thing, and they never seem to be satisfied with it. It's almost like people that move from one city to another, and it's like, oh, I didn't like the place there. I didn't, you know, and I'm like going, well, the only common denominator between all these places is you. So it falls to you, and it's like, what's wrong with you, or what's the element that's in flux with you that has you uncomfortable being in any one place too long. So that didn't pan out here, and so that was kind of good to see that there are those that, you know, they're the adventure seekers. They have to be moving on to something else and something new, and it was nice to see that he willing to give that up for something that was a bit more grounding, perhaps, you know. When you're running or flying and falling, you know, you're not too grounded.
No, but doing it in tandem with somebody too,
Yeah.
right? Because he did say he doesn't want to stop.
Yeah.
And him staying there wouldn't stop, but he said he wants to do it with her.
Yeah, so, and I think that would be a really good thing, is that if he can, because obviously her first trip outing, you know, really expanded her whole entire world. And so I think that would be great if they could do it together. And, you know, they did their first outing together. They went to the top of that mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, the two of them. And they made it special for them because it was just about the two of them, nobody else around. And it was just the experience of going and doing that. So I think that if they do that, that would definitely be really, really grounding for them as a couple, and very bonding. And that doesn't mean that she has to go on everything that he does, but certainly, you know, if they did a number of those through the year, every year, I think they'd be perfect, you know, and then they can have some ketos and all of that.
Well,
so.
you know, one thing she did say too, this whole thing started because she said that she wants to have vacations. Right, in the very beginning. And so I think without him in her life, she would be a workaholic, because for doctors, let's be
You can be
real.
a
Like, you
workaholic.
can be a workaholic because it can become your life.
Yes.
There's lots of doctors that do not have a family life because their life is the hospital.
Right.
And so I think without him in her life, because we've been talking about his life,
Right.
but I think in her life, there needed to be a balance and adjustment as well. Because for her, if she wouldn't have had him in her life, she would be that like uptight, like just working and studying and working and studying. But he brought some flavor into her life too. And
That's true. I guess in a sense, the movie really did not, other than her early life when she was still a student at home, it didn't really kind of give much on what she was doing. I mean, we got to see him and what he was really doing big time, but we didn't really get to see what even just an incident at the hospital would have been really interesting to see. That would have been really kind of cool. Just to kind of give it the balance that it needed, so that we understand from her perspective, what she was doing and how her life was. I mean, I got a sense when we saw her plays, we saw her dog. She was on New Year's. She is just hanging out at her home
again
by
herself. She wasn't going out and partying, and stuff like
and
that.
she's just in her. I'm in my comfy clothes at the house, gonna have little noodles and maybe a little bubbly and watch it on TV.
Yeah.
So this was a spice of life.
I like that they just showed hints, because you really, to understand a film like this, I think you have to read those clues. Like maybe a lot of people didn't realize that. What is she doing on New Year's? She's just home alone, right? And then there's their other friend that's like hanging out at his bar. That seems like it's closing. It wasn't very busy. And especially on New Year's. It should be busy on New Year's, but that's maybe why it's closing. But, and that's her. So for her character arcs, you really have to pay attention to those little subtle things, like having a dog and, being home on New Year's and having this friend that she was like trying to meet at the party and just be a little social. Maybe trying to like get somebody to get her to go out more. I don't know. But what would you rate it?
So I'm going to rate it an 8. I thought it was well done. I loved a lot of the visual effects that they did, particularly in the dance scenes, and wherever they were having this wedding, that was spectacular.
So,
I was like really liking that.
I don't think they really said, but to me, I was seeing a lot of Rajasthan type things, like caps and the different gowns and colors and that sort of stuff when they were out and about. So I think it was in Rajasthan. But definitely correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know.
She said it was a destination wedding. So, but they never really said where the destination.
They didn't.
so I'm like kind of curious.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, I think she said it's a destination, Udaipur, but I don't know where that's at.
So anyhow, that just really made it, because there were just so many different, just very picturesque and anybody.
I was right.
You got it?
And it was Udaipur in Rajasthan.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, because it was looking a lot very Rajasthani with the hats and the the gowns and the clothing and all that sort of stuff, and the city. So it's very pretty. I've been to Jaipur and Pushkar, but other than that, I've not really went too much around.
Maybe that's next trip. So so I think it had some good, stunning visuals that I really liked, and that always makes. That's a nice little extra for me.
It's nice to watch pretty things on the screen.
It always is, yeah.
Live vicariously through them.
There you go.
That's what movies do, right? Allows us to live different lives without actually suffering the consequences of their lives.
And that was an interesting thing. Sometimes movies are very much totally separate, and you're viewing it as a story, and you really don't think that there could be any kind of flow back on your own life or thoughts and everything. And for this, I was kind of like going, oh, there's some interesting thoughts here for one's own interest. How has your life progressed, and how have you changed, and what things, maybe what dreams have you had to give up along the way in order to achieve what you want, and things like that. So this I think a lot of people might be able to relate to be able to see themselves and think about, hey, I had to do this, or I had to get married, or whatever, things like this. So,
Well, you guys let us know what you thought, because I'm very curious, as always, to read your thoughts and comments, and also your rating. And keep these recommendations coming, because this one was a really good one, and I like all the actors that were in it. So when I saw this and definitely added to the list, I was like, yes. So thank you so much.
And thanks for mixing it up, so we're not totally surrounded by the cop universe.
Yeah, and we'll get back to it. So we have one left to watch in the Rohit Shetty universe, so we will get back to that shortly. But in the meantime, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like these, then be sure to turn on all notifications. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, sharing, a like button par tap par maro.